National parks are an invaluable resource for understanding our nation's historic and cultural heritage as well as our natural environment. Every year, millions of Americans plan their vacations around our nation's national park system. I still remember fondly my own family's trips to Denali National Park in Alaska, to the Grand Canyon, to Yellowstone, and to several other national parks around Springfield, Illinois that celebrated the life of Abraham Lincoln. In planning our family's summer vacations years ago, we would log onto the National Park Service website and search state by state for ideas from Alabama to Wyoming. And when we came to our own state of Delaware, our search turned up empty. I was not shocked, but I was dismayed. The first state to ratify the Constitution, the first state in the Union, the first state in which Swedes and Finns first came ashore, and the place where the Dutch built an ill-fated settlement nearly 400 years ago in Lewis, Delaware, remains the only state without a national park today. This is unacceptable. However, if the first state National Historical Park Act of 2011 is adopted, that would change. For years, I've been working with federal officials, with state officials, with community leaders, and activist citizens all over our state to find a theme in a park that fits well with Delaware. The first state National Historical Park Act of 2011 celebrates Delaware's early Dutch, Swedish, and English settlements and the events leading up to the state's role in founding our nation. The legislation is based on previous legislation which Senator Kaufman, Congressman Castle, and I introduced in 2009, using suggestions from an in-depth study by the National Park Service under former President George W. Bush. We've made some changes to the legislation for this Congress to reflect input from a Senate legislative hearing, from relevant committee staff, and from this administration's National Park Service, and from stakeholders back home. The bottom line is this: we still have the same theme, we still have sites in all 3 counties of Delaware, but we've limited our sites to those that fit in the scope and would be amenable to the Park Service's acquisition or shared management. 2 years ago, the renowned documentary filmmaker and former Delaware resident, Ken Burns, told the story of the national park system, the story of what he called America's best idea. Along with Ken Burns and many of the millions of people who view that documentary on national television, I share the belief that national parks are indeed one of our nation's very best ideas. In his documentary, the Denali National Park was included. As you may know, Denali translates loosely to mean the Great One. And while visitors to Delaware are not likely to remember us as the Great One, they may remember us as a small wonder. They may well end up returning to their own homes with lasting memories, fond memories of that small wonder, and memories of how our small state helped to launch the most enduring experiment in democracy that the world has ever known, the United States of America.